Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So today I'm out working in the shop and I've been working on getting this place organized. And one of the things that I've wanted to do for a long time is come up with a storage solution for plywood. So I always have scraps of plywood laying around from different projects that I'm working on. You know, there's a full 4x8 sheet OSB down to various size scraps. And I've got, you know, as you can see, if you look around my shop, I've got no room on the walls anywhere to be able to store plywood. So I've been thinking about a solution that I can use this space here. So as you can see, I've got a loft up in this shop. So the staircase in front of the loft, I've got storage underneath it, which I need to be able to get access to. But I think I can design a like a swing out rack that will swing up and fit flush against the edge of the staircase here, and then I can swing it out this way, you know, when I need to load it up or pull plywood out, or when I need to get, you know, whatever various things that I've got in storage. So I've had a plan in my mind quite a while ago how I was going to do this, and I've had this lumber, I bet, for a few months. I can't remember exactly what I had in mind, but I'm trying to remember. So I'm going to kind of maybe sketch some stuff out on paper here, or maybe I'll just pull out a saw and just start cutting and screwing stuff together to see what I can come up with. But hopefully I can come up with a good design that's going to solve this mess that I've got going on currently. All right, so I got this thing just kind of temporary set here in the jaw horse, but just to kind of show you the basic concept of what I'm trying to accomplish. So this is going to be the bottom of the rack, obviously, and I'm going to have a couple of caster wheels on the bottom, and then what I'm going to do, so this is a 2x10, so we're at like 9 1/4, 9 1/8, something like that. That's how much room I'm going to have for plywood, which is plenty for the few scraps that I always have laying around. So this will be the end piece. I'm going to have hinges. They're going to come onto this end piece here, and then they're going to go to that last leg of my shelving unit. And then I'm going to have 3 sets. This will go on the edge here and stiffen up this corner. And then I'm going to have an upright in the middle, and then I'll have an upright on the end. So I cut all these at 5 feet, and my thinking is that I'm going to, so these uprights will overlap my 2x on the bottom, and then I'm going to have some ties on the top too. So I'll lose 3 inches because of that. So I'm at 60 inches, so I'll end up at 57 inches, which should be good because that gives me an extra 9 inches, I guess, just to be able to, you know, kind of maneuver sheets in and out. I don't want to have it too tight and have it hard to slide them in. I want to be able to go in and out pretty easy. So I think that should work pretty good. So I've got 6 of these 2x6s cut. I've got this upright cut. I actually need another 2x6. I had some scraps laying around, so these will be my ties that will go in the middle to actually support the top of it. The only issue that I've got at this point right now is like I mentioned before, I bought this lumber a long time ago. It's been sitting in my shop for a few months, and this piece here has stayed pretty flat, but it's got a little bit of a bow in it. This one got a little bit cupped and a little bit weird, so I'm just using that as the end piece. So I've got this so that the bow is up, but I may need to get some stiffeners to screw to the side of this thing to get it as flat as possible for actually, you know, for holding the plywood. So That I should be able to do after the fact. I'm not too concerned about that. I think I can go ahead and move forward. So I'll go ahead and, so I'm gonna get this down on the floor and I'm gonna get it mocked up, start throwing some screws in it, and it'll take shape. All right, so I'm attempting to get this bottom board as flat as possible, so I've got it shimmed up on either end, and the only 8-foot straight edge I have right here is that chunk of OSB, so it's gonna be pretty close. Might not be 100% perfect, but things are gonna move and settle over time anyway, but just trying to get it as close as possible. So there's the base. I'm gonna throw another stringer up on top and then probably one in the middle, and I'll be ready to mount the casters and the hinges. So I noticed that probably see this on camera, the top of these uprights here in the middle, they're kind of racked a little bit to the front of the rack. They're kind of bowed out this way. So I have this piece of 1/4 inch. I'm just gonna screw this to the top, and that'll stiffen that center, and that way I can get the whole rack nice and straight. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these hinges put on here before I tip everything over and do the casters. So I've already got some holes pre-drilled here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 1 screw in each hinge, so I've got some adjustability when I get it up to that 2x4 over there. So I'll just tack them on like that. That should be good to get me started. All right, so time to get these casters mounted, and as you can see I took them apart just so I could get better access to the holes. I debated on how to space these things, and what I decided to do is I'm going to put the far outside one 18 inches from the end, and then this one I'm going to put 36 inches from the end. So it'll be a little bit more toward the outside, and then of course we'll have weight hanging on the hinges as well. So I don't know if there's really necessarily a right or wrong answer to that, but that's what I've decided to do. So I'm just trying to make sure I get these things lined up as square to the board as possible. Actually, I think I'm going to mark them and then drill them. It'll be easier. So I'm using, these are 7/16 lags, and I only have 4 that are 1.5 inches. These are like 1 3/4 inches, so they're going to come through, and I'll have to just grind the tips off, but not a big deal. Rebuild my caster here, and I can do the other side. All right. Time to hang this thing on the wall. I wasn't sure how easy it would be to move this thing, but it rolls really nice. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a couple screws in here, and then I'll get that block pulled out so it's actually sitting on the caster. So one thing I'm not sure about yet in this whole situation is my floor is not perfectly level, so it actually slopes downhill toward the hinges, I think. So depending on how level it is out over here, I hope that when this thing swings out that the weight stays on the casters. It'll be fine sitting here. I can position it so the weight stays on the casters, but hopefully when it rolls out, it doesn't end up, you know, with either binding or with a bunch of extra weight hanging on the hinges and this caster floats out here. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but I guess I'm going to find out here real quickly. I'm going to take this block out. Those casters set up about 5 inches. Oh yeah, that's almost perfect actually. All right, so we're sitting on the wheels. All right, that's what I was afraid of. So this wheel is floating. I'm about 1/4 of an inch up, which actually, when there's weight on that, that's not going to be any problem. That 1/4 of an inch will just get taken up and everything will flex a little bit. So I knew it wasn't going to be perfect because the floor is not flat, but I think it's going to work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and send it, put the rest of these screws in. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to knock off the tips of these screws. They're just barely protruding. Perfect. Hey, I am really happy with that. I don't have much wood to put in there right now, so it's just kind of loose, but I could put, I could put several more sheets in there. So that's great. The added benefit too, that I didn't really think of before, is now I have more wall space. I could actually put hooks to hang off of this rack, for cords and hoses and just whatever, ropes and other things that I've got laying all over the place. So now when I swing out, yeah, that wheel is, actually it's just touching the ground. So that about 1/4 inch gap when there's weight on it, just just takes it up, but you know, it's only when you swing out to load it or unload it. The majority of the time it'll be up against the wall, it'll be sitting on both wheels. Well, that looks good, I'm happy. You know, I've had this lumber laying around for a long time, I just never had time to get to it. I should have done it a long time ago. So one more step of being able to actually get my shop halfway organized. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed that, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you're interested in seeing other videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.